Hello, you're watching Polish Radio External Service, the English service of this radio, and we are in the studios of the main building of Polish Radio in Warsaw, here to welcome you to the inaugural edition of a new show, the Warsaw Wrap. And this is a new show during which we will be talking about the developments of the past 7 days with me, Danuta
and Michał Owczarek.
So we thought that maybe we will bring you a little bit of the Warsaw and Polish perspective to the events that we have covered within the past 7 days.
Yeah, however, I thought, and I promised to myself I'll eat my hat if anybody ever watches or listens to this, because who is actually interested in yesterday's papers? Because there is a song by the Rolling Stones, I guess, yesterday's papers, and like who needs or who reads yesterday's papers?
How long have they been around, Michał?
Like 60, 70, 80 years now?
It goes to show, yes. So everybody will always be interested. So
Okay.
That's why we want to bring you a little bit in focus and in perspective on what has happened in Poland, the biggest market in the European Union, in the CE region, in the past 7 days.
And probably we'll offer you our opinions and our views on those developments.
But those, of course, will be based on the stories that we've covered and the reports we have provided within the last 7 days. Those reports can always be found at our website, thenews.pl. And this new show is the Warsaw Wrap. If we want to wrap up the last few days in Warsaw, what do we think would be the biggest story, Michał?
Well, maybe a story about Ukraine. There are lots of stories about Ukraine. So the one that we have picked is
the one when we, unfortunately, I think, have to cover the rising tensions and friction between Warsaw and Kyiv.
Exactly. And this is very sad and depressing because 4 years into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, there is this outpouring of generosity is practically gone, and there is very little solidarity with Ukraine right now among, say, common people in Poland. Yes. Which is very sad actually, because probably we are going to blow it. We are going to ruin the great deed that we actually did 4 years ago.
You think we are going to ruin it?
We are quite capable of that.
Well, that goes without saying. But I think also we have to take into consideration that the recent frictions are based on historical events. And we, both nations, I think throughout centuries have had periods of quite painful history.
That's right. Centuries of painful history. We are not historians, so we are not going to tell you about that. But you can always look it up at your earliest convenience, let's say.
Actually,
however, this is even sadder because these these historical tensions will always be there. So if we don't settle them now, we'll never have the accounts cleared among our nations.
Which is exactly what one of my interviewees told me. We have a show, everybody, on Tuesdays, Q&A, and last week we spoke to Dr. Kamil Zwolski, a political scientist from the University of Southampton, and he was talking a lot about this historical background. So let me just quote him, that this is the legacy of the Ukrainian Insurgent Army, which Poland holds responsible for World War II mass killings of Polish civilians in the Volhynia and Eastern Galicia regions. So that was then part of German-occupied Poland. This country qualifies those massacres as genocide, while many Ukrainians regard the insurgent army a symbol of the country's struggle for independence. And so I think the beginning of that friction was the fact that President Volodymyr Zelensky, I think it was last month, decided to honor one of the units of the army with this name referring to that historical Ukrainian insurgent army, which caused, I think we can say, pretty much an uproar in Poland.
Yes, but I guess this is all political because you have to be aware that forthcoming elections in Poland next year and probably in Ukraine, if the military situation allows, gives little, I would say, likelihood of de-escalating this situation. So I'm not very optimistic about it.
And unfortunately, you've already mentioned, and I think you have covered it this week, that the support among regular Poles for regular Ukrainians is dropping for the cause that Ukraine is fighting, for the general situation. I mean, obviously, I think there is always going to be a donor's fatigue. So people, after 4 years of providing help, will get tired at some point.
Yeah, sure. And worse than that is that we have seen a rising wave of assaults and incidents towards regular people in the street while Russian or Ukrainian was spoken.
Yes, and then unfortunately it even...
On a bus, for example.
Yes, and it even concerns minors now, which is even more disturbing. And it all started after this event with President Zelensky, in response to which President Lewandowski stripped President Zelensky of Poland's highest distinction.
Yeah, but this is a long story that I don't think we are able to cut short. Yes, our next big headline is what? Probably the European Space Agency.
Very sexy topic in Poland.
Yeah,
space.
I don't really think so. Setting up its center in Warsaw, and technically speaking, this is great news. Yes, because Polish native talent wouldn't have to go abroad to follow or pursue their interests. That's good.
So why do you make it sound like there's a but?
Well, because imagine a country that tries to spend the United States, for example, that outdrone Ukraine. What does this country get? It gets another bureaucratic building, probably in the center of Warsaw. And I think it's an opportunity missed because I think our Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, should come out and say, for example, with this great opportunity, ESA coming to Poland, I'm promising you a Polish astronaut on the moon or on Mars by 2050. The further the better, because by that time he would probably be dead and wouldn't be held to account. But I don't think Poles expect their government to say that there's going to be another skyscraper, whatever, ESA or whatever, or NASA. I think they are waiting for a big idea.
I thought it was a big idea. Let me just quote our Prime Minister. During the Monday ceremony, he said it's the first EU member on the bloc's eastern flank to host such a facility. And I think we have to say 2 words about what's behind it. I think it's a follow-up of the fact that last year, at the end of June, Polish astronaut Sławosz Uznański-Wiśniewski actually went into space.
That's true, but this is another missed opportunity. How many Poles actually watch this feed?
I can tell you
20%?
We don't know how many watched, but I spoke to Sławosz on the first anniversary, and he told me that almost 25% of the country still thought, to this day and age, it was fake news.
But it was kind of low profile, I guess. I think...
You think so?
Yeah. I'm quite convinced this is an opportunity missed, yes. Having an astronaut in space and not capitalizing on it, it's a missed opportunity.
So I wonder if a similarly missed opportunity in the eyes of some would be the transfer or move of Robert Lewandowski, so soccer, something totally alien to Americans, to America, actually.
This is even more hilarious because I guess Poland has been sending citizens to Chicago for centuries now, and Lewandowski is just another one in that batch.
Yes, and it was, you're right, I don't know if I would use the word hilarious, but it was actually interesting to see a press conference with very... I thought few
So I think he kind
present.
of said that he's not interested in living in Poland, retiring in Poland. He's not interested in retiring in Europe. So now he'll be meeting a lot of Poles, of people of Polish descent in Chicago.
Yes.
And by the way, I'm not sure this is true because I'm not a great football fan, or soccer as they say it in the United States. He's got no stadium. They are going to build a stadium for him. So right now at 37, he might retire earlier than the stadium is built.
Yes, that's the story that is obviously developing. I think a day before he was flying to the US or was about to fly to the US, they were still working on his visa for working athletes. That story, of course, we covered on Tuesday, I think, and you can see it on our website, thenews.pl. We want to end this first inaugural edition of the Warsaw Wrap with something nice and cuddly.
You mean Lewandowski? That was a joke, of course. You mean Puma, or
Yeah.
whatever, or cougar in
it'll be a cougar.
American English, or
Or in
mountain lion. Yes, that was an opportunity for me to learn all those words because I thought these were different animals.
Or just
And it
Puma in Polish.
Yeah, it actually transpired that it's the same animal. So, like a puma went viral in Poland this week, and because of it was at large. Yes. Oh, by the way, do you remember?
Yes.
When you learned English, probably
Yes.
there was like a manual.
Yes.
For learners in Poland, Alexander,
Yes.
and one of the first like stories in this book
Yeah,
was Puma at large. So it like we have made a full circle now and talking about a Puma at large in Poland, and it was I think quite a funny story because like people in a village in northern Poland were quite scared about this presence of Puma in their vicinity.
Well, it is a big cat.
Yeah, and like a lot of advanced equipment, state of the art, was deployed, like thermal vision cameras, drones, and something like that. And it like ended the way that Puma was spotted in the grass by a woman without no assistance of any other high advanced equipment, and they simply caught the animal in the grass.
Much ado about nothing?
I think we sometimes. I mean, there is sometimes a need for that story because, like, all the headlines and most of the headlines in Polish is about politics. Yes, so I think that was quite a nice. I'd say something for a change.
And speaking of change, we're changing our broadcasting and programming. And as you know, we are just introducing today a new show. Unfortunately, folks, we have to wrap up for this inaugural edition of the Warsaw Wrap, which you can see on our website. It's going to land out right after broadcast Sunday at 2:30 CET. It's going to be online at thenews.pl, on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And my name is Danuta Isler. I had this wonderful section. And
I am Michał Owczarek.
And it's been an absolute pleasure. Chin chin, Michał. Till next time.
To life.